Check it out, everybody. Welcome to the Martial Art of Selling. Hope everyone's having a fantastic week. It's been an incredible 2.5 weeks for me. I'm getting ready to prepare and set up for a seminar in May next month. I don't know the exact date yet, but I'll know the date on Friday, and then I'll send out messages to you guys so you guys could, if you're not locally, then you could watch it on live streaming. Now, the other day I posted a video, part 1, on why you should cold call on social media today. I originally said it's going to be a 2-part series, but I think I'm going to do it in 3 parts so that you can really grasp the importance of why you should cold call on social media today. So that was part 1. Part 2, we're going to talk about how to prepare to cold call on social media. See, one of the things you have to learn is how to be prepared, especially if you never cold called before. You want to be armed with facts. You want to be armed with a foundation. You want to be armed with weapon so that when you take that initial contact, however you're going to do, whether it's a phone call, a text message, an email, a Zoom conference, a video conference, however you do it, you're going to be prepared. You're going to be armed to show what you have to offer to your clients. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube and you want to follow me, all you have to do is hit the subscription button below. If you like the video, smash the like button. Also, do me a favor, share your comments. Now, before we get into step 2, buckle up, get ready, because you're in for a ride. Follow me. All right, guys, are you ready for step 1 and part number 2? Let's go. Okay, now, step 1 is this. And people, for some reason, it's so simple, it's so logical, they just overlook it for some reason. Maybe they're too lazy, maybe they don't want to do the grunt work. See, for me personally, I love the grind. I love the grunt work. That keeps me sharp, it keeps me focused, and it gets the right results. So, buckle up for this, because this is something you're really going to need to do. And if you do this properly, you're going to generate more sales. Now, so the first thing you have to do is identify your qualified prospects or leads. See, people like to use the word leads. Leads are just prospects, right? So what you need to do is you need to identify who they are and where they are. You have to do those 2 things. It's going to save you a tremendous amount of time and money. See, people throw money at things, and it's not always the right answer. If you just are willing to do the work and lay the foundation, you're going to see a higher return on your capital, whether it's sweat equity or financial equity. Either way, you have to be smart about it. Now, okay, so where do you go? This is where I go to target and identify my qualified prospects. Okay, now, a good tool is the Better Business Bureau. They're all businesses, right? They have information. Some of it might not be updated, but they're there. You can look at the ratings they have or they don't have. You can identify a lot of great prospects on the Better Business Bureau. The problem is people just don't take it serious, or they don't like to call businesses on the Better Business Bureau. I don't know why, but I could tell you this right now. If you're buying leads from someone, they're getting them from the Better Business Bureau. So they're just charging you for something that's free. So that's source number 1. Source number 2, believe it or not, is Google. I have an online campaign package that I'm putting together that I used to sell before, but now I tighten it up. And I would get a lot of my customers from the people on the first page of Google or the second page. They're there. You have to understand, if they're on the first page or the second page, to get on those pages through optimization, they're paying money through pay-per-clips. So you have to understand, Google is a great source. It's the #1 search engine in the world. Why not use it? Why not get free leads? Why not go after those businesses that are already there? Just think about that. That's source number 2. Number 3 is Yelp is another source. You know, you got ratings of the company. You got reviews on the company. Why not? They're there. If you have something of value and you know what you're selling or offering, you should know who is going to help as far as a customer is concerned, right? But you have to be willing to do the work. Because I tell you right now, not everybody on Yelp is following you, right? So why not take the initial action if you do have something that's going to benefit a business? But again, you have to really know who your prospects are. Now I'm speaking to you small business owners and entrepreneurs and salespeople. Okay, what's another source? All social media platforms. All of them. Everyone knows, those who know me, know I talk about all these social media platforms today, for me, are modern day yellow pages. And Twitter, for me, is more like the modern day telephone. So just think about that. All social media platforms. You have qualified targeted prospects there. You have to want to do the work. Is it easy? No, it's just like anything else. If you never done it, it's never easy. However, I believe it's one of the most effective tools you can use to not only save money, be more effective, but also in the long run, become a consistent salesman and also a consistent closer. Because guess what? Without sales, as I mentioned before, you don't have a brand, you don't have a business, you have a glorified hobby. It's just that simple. Does that make sense? Okay, now, another source, followers. That's a gold mine. Think about this. And I said this in my previous video. If you got 10 voice messages from 10 potential prospects that are interested in your product and services, are you going to call them back? Of course you are. Right? So if someone likes your content, shares your content, and comments on your content, to me, that's a message. They know, first of all, they know who you are. And it's up to you to identify, is that person that's liking my content, sharing my content, and commenting on my content, are they really a qualified prospect? You have to do that work. I know who mine are, and I know who to call, who not to call. So followers are very important. The next one, subscribers. If they're subscribing, even though it's free, and they're liking, they might be benefiting from your YouTube channel. Now, not everybody that subscribes is a person that has a business. They may just like what you're saying. I get that. But you have to understand the right numbers. It's your job, again, to identify who your qualified prospects or leads are. Subscribers, another one. And here's one that I just started implementing about a week or 2 weeks ago, which just came to me. Other people's followers. Let's say on Instagram or Facebook, people that like your content. You can see who's following them. You can see who they're following. They may have good prospects there, especially if they have more followers than you. That's a gold mine. It's free, it's there. Does that make sense? So there's many other sources you can get leads from, and you can target who your qualified prospects are. But here's the thing is, if you believe in what you have, and it's truly going to help whoever your qualified prospect is, then you should not be afraid to do the work. So this is laying the groundwork. This is laying the base so that when you take the initial call, the initial contact, you're going to be ready with ammunition. Absolutely. Okay? So these are the sources that I use to identify qualified prospects and leads. Now, follow me for step number 2. All right, guys, are you buckled up? We're going to get step 2 now. Step 2 is really, that's going to make a difference. This is what you really have to, what I call pre-qualify your qualified prospects. Okay? You remember, when you go to speak with someone you've never met, you never spoke with, you better be armed. You better be ready, because that's how you earn business. I love that. I love when I don't know someone, I know I can help them. They have no idea I'm about to help their business. And I have to go through the process, objections and things like that. But I love all that. That's what makes me who I am. That's why I'm successful in sales. I'm not trying to brag about it. I'm just keeping it real, guys. So, it's 5 o'clock in the evening my time, and I'm still having some coffee, because I love coffee, but I'm going to put it down for right now. Okay, let's go to step number 2. This is the pre-qualify. Once you target who your qualified prospects are. Now you have to do a little due diligence on them. Okay? Now, due diligence takes some work. Let me adjust the camera here. Okay? Now, here's what we do. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify, you want to learn about your prospects. Okay? That's what you want to do. That's step 2. You identify who they are. You know where to go get them. Now, you got to learn more about them. Okay? Now, when you do that, you got to understand their industries. And let me give you an example. There's 5 industries that I aggressively pursue for many years. For example, janitorial companies, remodeling and construction companies, pest control company, landscapers, security guard companies, and things like that. Anything that has to do with contracts. Okay? So, but now I'm actually targeting other industries like digital marketing companies and things like that I know I can help. But once you understand the industry, you have to be familiar with their language, what to look for, and what questions to ask. You don't need to know everything about the industry. You just need to know enough to have a smart, intelligent conversation so that you can say, hey, you have a problem here, here's how I can solve it. Does that make sense? So you have to know the industry. The second thing you have to know is you have to understand the weaknesses they may have that they're not aware about, but that you are aware about. We all have weaknesses. The problem is when you don't know you have a weakness and somebody else does. I know as a martial artist, if they knew my weaknesses and I didn't know it, they had an advantage over me. In sales, it's the same thing. When I cold call, I have an advantage over the person I'm calling. The only advantage they have is they have the power to hang up the phone. But when it comes to dialogue, they don't have an advantage over me. So I understand their weaknesses. You must understand their weaknesses. Okay? The third thing is social media. Everyone's on social media. So you have to look at how's their social media. You don't need to know everything, but here's what you got to look for. If you see somebody has a bad website or old website and it looks terrible, you as a potential customer, you reject that, right? Well, that's part of social media. You have to see how they are on social media, what kind of presence they have. Does that make sense? Okay. The next one is, this is very important, is, for example, if you're searching for them on the Better Business Bureau or Google or some other platforms, you have to look for how much revenue do they generate a year? Because if you have a high ticket item, you want to know that this prospect, 1, is qualified. Number 2, they have the capability financially to purchase your product or services. So you have to know what kind of revenue they generate. Okay? The next thing is SEO. You may not know what this is. Search engine optimization. I know what that is. I know how to do it. It's basically certain platforms they have on social media optimized. Okay? Why? Because at the end is you want to be able to talk about numbers. You want to be able to talk about profits and cash flow and return on investment. Does that make sense? You also have to know, what kind of online presence they have. I do that all the time. They may have a great presence, but they may not really be generating revenue. It's your job to determine that. Does that make sense? The next one is years in business. It's important that you understand how many years in business they've been in. Because they have probably a goodwill name. They have capital. They can make investments. The only downside to that is they might be stuck in their old ways that they may be hard to persuade. Does that make sense? But at the end of the day, every business is looking for better leads and more sales, right? Think about it. What business is not doing that? I challenge you to tell me that I'm wrong. You're on social media. I'm on social media. To do what? To promote our business and make some sales, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so years in business. And then the other one is miscellaneous. There may be other things that, may come to your attention that you weren't looking for. But you have to be able to determine those things. Why? Because in step 3, when we go with step 3, you're going to be more prepared than the prospect is. So that way, when it's time to ask for the order, you're going to earn that business. And that all starts with cold calling. That's how you prepare. It's like, when you sign up for the military and you're going to boot camp, let's say 6 weeks. I'm not a military guy, but I know people that have been. And you know, you're training, you're going through all that. But what is it when they call you to go to war or go to another country? Now the game is on. This is not rehearsal. This is real life situation. So this is why the cold calling is important, because it's the boot camp. It's the building of the foundation for you to be successful at cold calling on social media. You're going to love it. Absolutely love it. So this is what it is. Step 2 is learn about your prospect through the pre-qualification process. Now, stay tuned for step number 3. Follow me. All right, guys. Welcome to step number 3. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee if you don't mind. Oh, I love coffee. Okay, step number 3 is really going to give you the foundation. You're going to lay the foundation to the initial call, the initial contact, okay? And these things are very, very vital, because I believe this. Everything counts. You know, when it's time to sell and you have something of value, you can't afford to not take everything serious. You really can't. And that's what happens with mediocre salespeople. They just go through the motions. They don't really believe in what they do. They just know how to sell, you know, to a degree. Okay, so now let's go to step number 3. All right, guys. Okay, step number 3 is this. Is laying the foundation to the initial call. I like to call it the VER, which means selling value, executing the strategy, and then the R is for producing results. Okay, so VER. Now, how do we do that? The first thing is, through your research, right, and pre-qualification, you're going to identify the problem. Now, the customer or the prospect may not know they have a problem. It's your job to identify if they have a problem. And even if they don't have a problem, everyone's always looking for more business, right? So keep that in mind. When you identify the problem, then hopefully your product and services is going to have the solutions. You can't just bring out a problem and not have a solution. And don't fake the solution. Don't lie about the solution. Have a real solution. I know for what I do, I have solutions to my targeted audience, to my targeted prospects. I know I do. I look at what they have. I know they need what I'm going to offer them. And it's something that most businesses and small owners, or small business owners, entrepreneurs, just don't want to do. It's a need. They need to do what I'm offering. Okay? So I have real solutions. I understand the problem. Now, and here's the thing is the results. You dictate the results. See, with what I offer my clients, like you small business owners, entrepreneurs, and salespeople, is I'll show you how to have control over the qualified leads and the conversion ratio and increasing your cash flow. Those are the results. Because if you understand the problem and you have real solutions, you're going to get real results, right? Because a problem is basically identifying the cause. When you understand the cause and you have a real solution, you eliminate it, you're going to get better results. It's just that simple. Does that make sense? Okay, the next one is outcome. You know, what is the outcome? What do you want out of this? Do you just want to make the sale? Or do you want a relationship? For me, it's about the relationship. And sometimes I call it tough love. Sometimes you got to be aggressive and assertive. I'm aggressive. I'm assertive. You know, but I don't offend people. Some people may not like my style. I had clients tell me, you know, I don't like your style. But you make sense. And I know you're going to solve my problems. But they like me. They respect what I'm doing. They trust me. So the outcome for me is always not only producing results, but building successful relationships. True win-win-win situation. The customer wins, the salesperson wins, and the business owner wins. Does that make sense? Now, before all of this could take place, here's another thing most businesses and entrepreneurs don't have or don't care to have is a script. Notice I got it all capitalized, big letters. Script. It's important that if you have a new product you're offering, new services you're offering, or you're getting into a new industry, that you have a script. A script is like a map. If you want to travel somewhere, you want to see, how many miles is it? Which way do I go? Do I go east? Do I go north? Do I go west? However it may be. A script is a map. It's a platform. It's a track to get you from point A to point Z. Now, once you understand the script and you use it enough times, it becomes part of you that you won't need the script. But a script is, I use a script all the time. When I need to. In other words, if I have a new product, a new service that I'm offering, the script is going to help me accelerate my learning curve in the industry, whatever product I'm going to be selling. But a script is very important because it gives you the path. And I like to call that path the straight line method through my social media convergence strategy. Okay? That's what part 3 is. Step 3 in part number 2 on how to prepare to cold call on social media. Okay? Now, part 3 is going to be how to cold call on social media. You got all the facts, you got your target audience, and now I'm going to show you in the next video how you're going to actually do the cold call. That's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting. So, I hope this has been helpful. Again, if you want to follow me on this channel, all you have to do is hit the subscription button below. If you like this video, smash the like button. Also, share your comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. And if you think this video can be helpful to others, do me a favor, share the video with others. Till we speak again, I say goodbye for now. Thank you all for being part of the martial arts of sales. And remember this, learn to cold call on social media today. Talk to you soon. Bye.